That's it. All right, our next movie, guys, and this one, Coach and I both saw. I had been on this for a little while now. I'm assuming Coach probably has as well. Is a movie from Ireland called Kneecap. This is something that I like. I try to avoid trailers as much as I can, but this is something I actually saw the trailer for a couple of times actually, and it always struck my interest because I really had no idea what this is about. And we both went to see it this weekend, and I think you actually sent me a thing earlier that like Ireland's officially submitting this as like
Their
they're
Oscar
like
nomination, yeah.
they're, and honestly, I'm with that decision. So Kneecap is, to give you just a little blurb about it, a kind of a biopic.
It's a music biopic. This to me jumps over Ray, Walk the Line. This is to me one of my
Really?
favorite music biopics
It
ever.
transcends like what you think when you hear the word biopic by far.
Better
Like by way,
than
way far.
better than Elvis, better than Bohemian Rhapsody,
Yes.
better
See,
than
that's what I
everything.
really love. See, I think what kind of worked, this was really interesting for me because honestly, I had seen the trailer for sure, but I did not know until after I saw this movie that Kneecap is a real fucking band, or like a real like rap group,
And they
electronic group.
play themselves in the movie.
And
And I
yes,
had no idea.
I did
Are you
not either.
serious?
They play themselves, and I'm like, I swear I have seen these guys in other movies.
Exactly.
Okay.
But no, this is the actual band. They talk about like, and the irony is the director is of British descent, a little bit of Irish, but of British descent. So even they were
Oh,
just like,
yeah.
oh man, this is colonialism again.
Yeah,
But
right.
but
Is
like
that woke? Is that woke? Joe Rogan talking about that?
said, oh, we're good. There's a bunch on my list for this one. But
Yeah. Oh God.
like, but basically, like he was, there was a number of people trying to tell their story, and this guy was all over him for a year. And then when he proposed, like, no, you guys have to be in it, and you have to go to acting school and do all that. Like, if we're gonna do this right,
Really?
yeah, there's a
And it
great
paid.
story behind this.
Okay, I'm
And
gonna
it
check this
paid
out.
off.
Like that no, just that premise right there, just how excited you guys are about talking about this.
Yeah.
Makes you really want to see it. And
Well, it's a film about your heritage, and it's preserving where you come from.
Okay.
And what basically the gist of this is these guys are trying to preserve the Irish language. So they're fighting back, or not fighting back, but they're resisting like this British rule and wanting to make the Irish language illegal. And
they kind of take over as this reformation to make Irish an official language. They're not trying to necessarily get rid of English, but they're trying to make Irish an official language that's taught. And they threw around the number a lot of when this was going on, that only 80 or 90,000
Yeah.
people in Ireland spoke Irish.
Yeah, exactly. And like basically, like you have these two kids who, and I call them kids because I'm old as fuck, but I'm gonna say early 20s or whatever, and they party a lot, they do a lot of drugs, they
Mhm.
want to make music, they rap, they sing, they make electronic shit, and you have these kids that want to preserve this part of their heritage of themselves, and someone comes into their lives in a very strange way, like while one of them is arrested and is kind of acting as a bridge because this kid refuses to stop speaking Irish to this police investigator who is like,
Only
bitch,
speaks
stop
English."
speaking Irish, bitch, because fuck this, and I don't believe you, and you're going to speak English and all of this shit. But this person recognizes what they're doing because he's also interested in preserving this language. And what comes about is that he starts to work with these two kids to like make music. He reads their diary essentially and reads their like the bars they've wrote and like the raps they've wrote, and is like, oh, this could really be a thing. This could be very important for the Irish language. And I think you guys
Right.
need to lean into making music in this language. And this could be like the thing that brings everyone together to rise up to like save this Irish language. And I will say too, like I happened to go see this movie. Like the way the viewing worked out for me is that I kind of had to go see the one with closed captions. And
Ooh.
I'd say 50, 60 maybe percent of this movie is in another language, so you are reading subtitles.
Yes.
But I'm so fucking glad that I saw this particular version of it, because even when they are speaking English, if you're it can be hard to understand at times. So I could see this as a downside, like maybe just a little bit, but I'm glad that I happened to have to catch this version of it, because it kept me clued in on everything, and it's very heavy like dialect. And even like I
Yes.
said, but in English, it could be a little hard to understand.
But it's such a like almost like a Rocky story. It's a underdog story, and like at the same time as they're getting like the kids to now speak Irish while they're singing their songs, and there's a referendum and like people that are working on the higher end to make it laws, and it's all melding it in and out, and then you have like a couple of the like your old school IRA guys coming in,
Oh wow.
and like there's just a number of things like it's the perfect culture. Like hip hop culture is perfect for this of
Mhm.
it's like trying to find a voice to those without a voice, the downtrodden.
Anti-establishment and
Yeah, like
Oh, very that.
they talk about colonialization, and it's funny they even make fun of a thing called like generational trauma, but they're like, yeah, it does exist. Now they do it as a kind of tongue-in-cheek thing for the two guys to get drugs, but like it's just so well done. The director, Rich Pipite, I know it sounds French, but he's English with a little bit of Irish.
Okay.
Like it reminds me of early Spike Jones and Michel Gondry, like the guys that went from music videos to making movies, but also like you throw in like Edgar Wright, and it like just it is.
I was
just
even gonna say like it's not as bleak as this, but like even Train Spotting a little bit, and like the
Yes.
playfulness
yes,
and like
Old school
the
Danny
visual
Boyle.
like fun that they have with this movie.
So it's very much a non-North American take.
Yeah, and it's not bleak. It's like I said, I think it's a like a dramedy kind of like it has a bit of
You
drama.
can find humor in
But there's so
the
much humor here, and
circumstance.
the humor works, and it's not like forced or like weird or like we're
And
trying so hard or any of that. And
I was
it's great.
enjoying it when they lay the first beat, like when the first song just hit.
Here, dog, tree.
The only thing I can explain it to is if you've ever seen the movie Once, which is another Irish guy, but it's a musical that basically when the main song in Once hit, you get goosebumps.
Oh,
So
cool.
like
I
this,
agree.
Shout out.
and listen, I'm not a huge rap guy, but like this thing was a banger. Like I'm in my office and I'm bringing them up on on Spotify
I'm
and
gonna check
listen
that
to some
out.
of their stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Oh no,
they have a
they're
song called like
dope.
"Out the Brits," like "Get the Brits Out."
Yeah,
Like,
hell yeah, dude.
I
But
I can't. So I'm sorry. Like
No,
I'm
you're
so
good.
excited. Like,
Excitement is
like
good, bro.
they refer to words as bullets, and like that's how they're basically like taking down the establishment. um this is instant. It won the Sundance Jury Award for the most popular amongst the viewers. It's in my top 5 easily right now, right away.
Wow.
I for the most part can hold it together, and I'll play it level, but you can hear my voice. I'm excited about
You're
this
very
movie.
excited.
Excited for other people to experience this movie.
Yes.
Well, you've
And
sold
that's
a
the thing.
ticket.
Like,
You've sold a ticket, both of you, right? Chad with
I
your
hope people go
enthusiasm and
see
Dave
this,
with your
man. Like,
excitement. I'm definitely I will check that out very soon.
I didn't really like. I mean, I went into it like with pretty decent hopes. Like, I thought the trailer looked very promising, but it's just the kind of thing. Like, as you watch it unfold, and I think there's so much. I'm not Irish. I live
No.
in the USA, but there's so much here that's so relatable and so easy to latch onto, and I think so well done that it's just hard to not like kind of fall under the spell of this movie. And yeah, it involves a ton of drugs.
I'm on drugs.
Like it just is. It's just so much fun, and
Mhm.
not just like fun in a throwaway way. It's fun in a really substantial, like stick with you kind of way. And
Cool.
I think that when I say like it's one of the best biopics about music that I've ever seen, is most of the biopics is about the person and what they overcame, whereas this was almost something bigger than the group.
well, this is about the
The
movement,
music.
I think.
Yeah, it's the movement, the country, the
Okay, okay.
culture,
Yeah.
and all that. And that's the thing that, like, even when you watch like Straight Outta Compton and stuff, it's like, yes, was that a cultural, just absolute bring and move, moving the needle and stuff? Yes, but only so much, because it turned into almost like a for-profit thing. These
Mhm.
guys are still very anti-colonialization, like
Have they amassed any kind of financial success
I think they've. I mean,
with?
I
I
think
know,
they've
I know,
definitely become popular.
it's different within, like I said, not North American shot, but is the financing different as far as like getting on Spotify and a record label
I mean, I think a band
based
or a
around
group
where
like
they're from?
this, I think that it has not a ton of crossover appeal. I think you
Okay.
can get into like the beats, the music, all of that kind of stuff. They would never be like, I don't think, a number one like on American radio, because I think it is a very specific thing.
Okay.
But as a person who likes music, you could sit back and be like, yes, they fucking killed this. Like, I don't even know what they're saying right now. And I'm just like, yes, 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 yes.
Okay. Well,
It's very that.
I'm always curious because you mentioned like Straight Outta Compton, and these guys have commercial success and financial reward.
Mhm.
Are the players from Kneecap not receiving the comparable financial reward, which would make them still Rage Against the Machine,
Yeah, like I
so to
kind of look
speak?
at it as like, like Robbie Williams and Kylie Minogue are big in Great Britain, but
Right.
like
Mhm.
they're not making what Taylor Swift is making.
Dude, you're
Okay.
yeah, it's
Okay.
exactly the kind of
Okay.
shit I was
Okay.
gonna
All
say.
right.
Hell yeah.
And
Very good.
and they're not like these other guys also, like they're not doing commercials for Adidas. Like
Yeah.
they're
Yes,
not
that's what I
doing
mean. That's what I
like
mean.
if
Are
you take away
they
all the
hitting? Are
extra,
they enough to live and thrive upon?
Oh,
But
I think so.
not
Yes.
the like back up the Banks truck riches.
I mean, I think they're successful, and I think they're doing what they want to do and like
yes.
living off of
Okay.
that.
Good.
But they're not a worldwide sensation the way some artists become.
Yes.
For
Taylor
sure. But they've
Swift,
definitely
not
built their
Eminem.
following.
They're not.
Yeah, yeah. No,
They still
definitely not.
seem like the people that would still live in Belfast. They're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
moving out to the country with a
Okay.
little cottage and stuff.
Well, I only
It-
say that because that will also affect your music
Sure.
just based upon
But I
you
think
know
it does keep them humble too, and like it keeps their music kind of like focused and grounded and
Mhm.
into what like brought them into making this music in the first place, which was to say, fuck all of this, fuck all y'all.
Mhm.
We care about our heritage, we care about our lives, our livelihood, and this is something that's incredibly important to us, and we refuse, and I mean they refuse to back down from this shit because it's
So-
that important for them, and it shows you to stand up for the shit that you believe in, even when sometimes it makes your life more difficult.
So their next single is not going to be, "Oh, my butler's got the flu and the rolls broke down."
It's unlikely. I
Okay.
would say.
All right. My
It's
life
unlikely.
sucks, Okay.
And I have to say
That's
too
cool.
that Michael Fassbender, who I love,
I love him so
plays
much.
the father of one of the characters in this movie. He doesn't have the hugest role in the world, but I think he's always such a delight to watch. And I think there is sort of like a crimey element to it a little bit. Shouldn't even say a little bit. There is a crimey element to it, but that's not exactly the focus of the movie. And yeah, he was great. And yeah, this is just the kind of thing I really can't recommend enough to someone who's into something a little bit off the beaten path. And like Coach said, I think one of like really the better like biopics I've really ever seen. And I think I say that because I didn't realize until after the fact that this really truly was a biopic. I thought this was fiction. And it plays like fiction, but in the best possible way. And I'm sure some events here are fictionalized, but it felt real, man.
I have a secondary recommendation if you like this, but you want a little more softer side of basically like almost 10 years before this. On Netflix, there's an amazing show called Dairy Girls, which is basically a coming of age.
You spoke well about
of in Derry, Ireland, and yeah, you're going to probably need the subtitles on, but it's just one of those like regular Irish girls growing up as the world is literally changing around